Hi there. Always nice seeing a new face.
Don't stay out.
Interesting. The last thing I expected to stumble across at this type of settlement is a museum. Might be worth a look around.
It's so cold here. I guess I should have... I can't imagine living here. These people sure are hardy.
Hello. Enjoy our visit here.
We take vandalism seriously. Heads up if you're planning on going to Chunks. Luther's been bothering anyone with a ship for help.
We used to get... Sure would be nice to get off-world sometime.
You see those wind turbines out there? Hooray!
Don't tell my wife, but I actually prefer Chunks to her cooking. And don't get me wrong, her cooking's great. Hello there. Welcome to the new Homestead Chunks. We've got all your Chunks favorites. Sadly, we're out of the special. So, if I'm completely honest, it is. The people are always saying how this Chunks can't compare to the real deal. And I just know it's because we never had that mouth-watering sauce. I've been in contact with some... Wait, for real? Oh, of course. Between what I've got personally and the petty cash, I'm sure I can get you what you deserve. So, I know of another Chunks that has a case of sauce ready to go for me. I actually cleared it with them just before you arrived.
Welcome to Chunks. Thanks for choosing Chunks. Which Chunks would you like today? Been a long time since I've been to Mars. Sol system doesn't get a lot of traffic.
Did you know the
am I
museum
glad they
here
have a
is
Chunks
full of
here.
old Earth artifacts?
I'm learning so much here. Everyone should be able to ask what in their life.
Experience.
Nice to see this place still has the same charm.
What did we think of the tour?
Very informative. I didn't know about the methane
eyes
harvesters.
on the Earth. Just once.
This colony's A lot smaller than I thought it would be. Well, hello there, and welcome to my... Oh, nice. Yo, I'm Jay. I'm happy. Or if you have any... Sure thing. I'm also interested in buying if you have anything for sale.
You've got to do a better job of keeping your tour groups out of trouble.
Glad you asked. We don't get a lot of off-world stuff. Between you and me, people around here talk...
By the mines and nearly got his arm stuck inside. It could have been ripped off.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, kids... I love them. Some are indifferent about it. But that being said,
You've got to do something.
I love them. Most of us in New Homestead appreciate... Some are indifferent about it. But that being said, come back anytime.
Why? For instance, did you know that New Homestead... Well, there's plenty more where that came. So what do you say?
I was hoping you could tell me some more about this exchange program.
Excellent! You won't regret it! My tours are one of a... Now, there's just the matter of price. The going rate for a... Great! Let's get this show on!
Word of advice, steer clear of the doctor here. She really seems to have a problem with tourists for some reason.
Wow. Sounds immersive. But fun.
It is. It's one thing to learn about early colony life. It's another to experience.
Right.
Did you know the museum here
This
is full of old
Homestead's
Earth
main
artifacts?
concourse. This underground area didn't exist when the original outpost,
Take a
Titan
look.
Astro Base, was finished in 2130.
Word of
Follow
advice,
me. We'll
steer
come
clear
back
of
here
the
by the
doctor
end of the
here.
tour and talk
Really
about the
seems to have a
museum
problem with
collection.
tourists for some
But
reason.
first, let's go see where people live.
They have a chunks here.
Now remember, these people aren't actors. They actually live here, so try to be respectful of that. While the original inhabitants of the Titan Astrobase lived in pods like you saw up above, they transitioned down here when this section of the base was finished in 2144. Space is extremely limited, so you'll notice some overflow here, but more residences also exist on lower levels, which are inaccessible to tours. I'll stop at each of our destinations if you want to look around, or if you have any questions for me.
Oh, ah! I just have so much energy. I want to run around.
Have any questions so far? Alrighty, we'll be taking the residential elevator. Let's leave these good people alone for now and go check out the farms. Follow me up the elevator. New Homestead's farms are the beating heart of the colony. Without them, the original outpost would have shriveled and died. These pods are sealed and climate controlled, the perfect environment for growing the hydroponic vegetation needed for survival in the early days of the colony.
No disrespect, but I'd appreciate if you let me and my family be.
Any questions about the farms?
We were learning about Jemison in my class the other day.
Onward it is! We'll be stopping by the Brown Horse Tap. But for now, it's just a short...
If you want to go there for your learning
the
vacation when
old
you're
bio
older,
labs
you may,
are
but
just
not
on the other
until then.
side of this building, believe it or not. We'll step on through the hallway there. They're not in use anymore, but the colony has faithfully recreated them as a historical exhibit, true to the original purpose of the Titan Astrobase. Sadly, they're undergoing some light renovation. Otherwise, there'd be interactive activities for kids to learn about how they used to search for microbial life here.
I don't mind the tourists. They help the local economy.
Pardon the dust, but I can still answer. You got it. On to our next. Next, we'll be heading outside, so make sure to check those seals on your suit because it's a bit chilly out there. We're going out into the frozen wastes of Titan to see what powers this planet.
Damn power's on the fritz
Watch your
again.
step outside, by the
Joyce
way. The
always
ice
seems
can
to
be
need help
slippery if
clearing
you're
ice
not
off
careful.
people.
The goal is to keep people out of Dr. Lakota's infirmary.
The people here live a simple life. Try not to complicate it.
I'm learning so much here. Everyone should visit at least once in a while.
Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes. Powering New Homestead. As you might imagine, generating energy was a real challenge back in the day because the technology was much more crude then. But crude or not, it was that technology that sustained the old Astrobase. And it might surprise you to learn that the same technology is still working today. The interesting thing about this renewable energy. You'll see one of the methods used on the horizon up ahead. That's right, New Homestead's famous wind farms. This spot was chosen for the colony in part because of its constant winds. These turbines have been integral to the colony's function since its establishment as a cheap, mostly reliable source of electricity. let's talk. You're the boss. Let's go. Moving right along, we're going to learn about Titan's great natural resources. Titan is rich with hydrocarbons like methane and ethane. Surely you saw huge pools of the stuff on your descent into New Homestead. I like to think they add to the natural beauty of this world. Of course, stay away from them because, like anything beautiful, they can be dangerous. Just like my last ex-wife's pet. Jim is gorgeous. Oh, I don't know what you'd call it. Creature. The guy that sold it to her couldn't tell her what it was or where it was from. I don't think it was even a legal sell, to be honest. The thing was very easy on the eyes. Feathers, all the colors of the rainbow. Nasty bite, though. Wound up in the hospital and almost lost my hand. Still not enough for her to get rid of the dang thing. Anyway, there's a reason she's my ex-wife. But enough about me. We were talking about methane and other resources, right? Hey, can you believe it? Back in the 20th century on Earth, they used to fight wars over natural resources like this and petroleum. They had this whole moon here basically made of hydrocarbons in their own backyard. They just couldn't get to it. Incredible how far we've come. New Homestead is home to one of the oldest and largest methane processing plants in the settled system. Every year, UC engineers go through a painstaking, month-long maintenance process. Now this place remains operational as long as it has. I'm not going to take you too close to the machinery, liability and all, but I can still answer questions. Questions? Exports mostly. Of course, new. Okie dokie, artichoke. So, this next stop is a bit of an interesting one. I only recently made it part of the tour. Fun fact, it's also the only natural landmark on the tour. What we're about to see is a glacial spire we affectionately call Emir's Horn. This colus used to be named after a character in a popular fantasy novel, but it was changed a couple hundred years ago to avoid any. Now, what's a colus, you might say? Colus derives from the Latin word for hill, and scientists only gave names to groups of hills on a planet's surface. So in reality, the term you hear more often is the plural, coles, with an E. You probably don't hear it very often where you're from, because it was usually a term reserved for unexplored planets that we didn't have the technology to describe what they were seeing firsthand. More common in the Sol system, but you may still hear it occasionally in reference to uncharted worlds. This planet's full of them, though, and they like to preserve that history here. So here it is. How about that? You really know your stuff. Maybe you should be the one giving the tour. I'm not sure. I heard someone say that before. Something about the worn-down remains of an ancient volcano producing ice via steam? I don't know. It sounds like you understand this stuff better than I. According to ancient Norse, Ymir even predated the Norse. It's a fascinating story. Excellent. On to the next stop then. So, we're gonna head back inside through the methane processing plant. Try not to touch anything on your way. We want to make sure to respect Dr. Lakota's wishes to be safer around here. That brings me to another point. You'll notice the people around here have last names related to where their families originated from on Earth as a way to remember the past. The museum curator, Maurice Leon, has more information information about that if you're interested. You can find him inside the main concourse. Loves talking about it. You'll find most of the locals here are very friendly to tourists like yourself. Tourism is a major draw to this colony these days, and I respect that. Most of them are happy to talk at length about what they do here. Their rugged lifestyle is a point of pride for a lot of these